Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom. We're so glad to be able to join together on this Shabbat evening, streaming to you live, each of us from our own homes, and hopefully into your own homes or wherever it is you may find yourself this Shabbat evening. I'm Rabbi Daniel Reeser. I'm joined in the leadership of this Friday evening service by our rabbinical student intern Ariel Milan Polisar and our cantorial student intern Isaac Sonnet Asor. We hope that you and your family are managing to stay well and to stay balanced, and hope that Shabbat, a time of rest, can help to provide a little bit of balance in these otherwise very challenging times that all of us are living in. We're not only observing Shabbat together now, we're also headed into the American holiday of Memorial Day, a time that's often spent in celebration with barbecues and pool parties and watermelon and all sorts of joyful kicking off of the summer. This year, of course, Memorial Day won't look like Memorial Days in years past. It won't be a time for parades and for gathering in large groups around the pool. Maybe it'll be a time when we can feel the true meaning of this federal holiday, of honoring people who've given their lives in service of our country. And perhaps we'll think not only of those people who've given their lives on the fields of battle, but even others who helped to make our country a safe and secure place to be. So many who've put themselves at risk over these past 2 months to help make our country and our homes and our families safe, and many of whom who've lost their lives doing so. This Memorial Day, may we be reminded of what this day is all about, and of those who've paid the ultimate sacrifice to help us all live in a country that is free, where we can hopefully live healthy and fulfilled lives. Amen. We'll help to welcome Shabbat by kindling light, and I'd ask that if you have Shabbat candles in your own home that you wish to light, that you do so at this time while I light ours here. We'll join together in a moment with the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue now with words of welcome. Hine matov umanayim. how good it is for us all to be together on this night. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra, b'chatzotzrot vekol shofar. Ariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra, b'chatzotzrot vekol shofar. Ariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, yiram hayam u'melo, tevel veyoshvei bar. Neharot imcha u'chav yachad, harim yiranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva, lishbot haaretz, yishbot tevel betzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim. Yiram hayam u'melo, tevel veyoshvei bar. Neharot imcha u'chav yachad, harim yiranenu. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmiyanu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, leshem multiferet ve'litzilah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם משוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. צוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה.
We turn now to our Baruch, our call to worship. Please join me in this familiar melody. As we turn to our prayer Ma'ariv Aravim, I'm struck by a new separation of dark and light that I have experienced in this pandemic. when I live on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and every night at 7 o'clock, as I'm sure many of you know or have heard, people start cheering for all of the healthcare workers and medical staff who are on the front lines. And whenever I hear that cheering outside, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm making dinner or I'm reading a book or I'm on a call with friends, I stop and say, that's my nighttime now. That's my sort of my havdil, my separation between the light and the dark. And so we say together, Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. A poem by Rami Shapiro. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that need us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. We turn to our prayer of freedom, Mi Chamocha. So as we move into our Hashkivenu prayer, I'm going to invite my dad, who is sitting here with me, to come join me here. My dad and my mom are two of the healthcare workers who have been working so hard to keep us safe. And so when we think of the prayer Hashkivenu, we think of a shelter of peace that protects us. And so just like my dad and my mom and all of the healthcare workers who are working so hard to give us that protection, we give thanks for that and hope that we will continue to have that protection. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Oshloi tzitenu Uvoenu B'chaim u'shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
We continue now with the Amidah. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, זומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We invite you now to engage in words of silent prayer, either in the words of the liturgy or in the meditations of your own heart.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you. Oh, my rock, and my Redeemer.
Shabbat Shalom. It feels like in the past few weeks or so, we've reached a new stage of the pandemic. First, there was the period of shutting down. Then there was the period of sheltering in place. And now we're in the period of wondering how and when we're ever going to reopen. There are no obvious answers in this new stage. And although our public officials have provided us with guidelines to follow and benchmarks to meet, still, there are a lot of unknowns. Many conversations over the past few weeks have centered on the question of how do you plan for the unknown? Public health officials looking at reopening guidelines, companies thinking about their employees and their budgets, families looking ahead to planned celebrations or life cycle events, economists studying the unemployment rate, summer camps looking ahead to June, schools looking ahead to September, civic leaders looking ahead to the upcoming elections. All of us are asking a variation of the same critical and difficult question. How should we go about planning for the unknown? When so much is still uncertain, how do we plan for the future? This week's Torah portion captures the challenge of planning for the unknown. We begin this week reading from the fourth book of the Torah, a book that has two names. In English, it is known by the name the Book of Numbers. And indeed, as that English name suggests, the Book of Numbers begins with numbers, figures, tallies, charts, and maps, a detailed description of a people who is planning. The Israelites have been encamped at the base of Mount Sinai, and here, at the beginning of the book of Numbers, they are preparing to leave that mountain and begin their journey towards the Promised Land. And as they prepare to set out on their journey, they realize that they'd better have a plan. And so, they first take a census, a counting of the entire Israelite camp, hence the name, the Book of Numbers. But the planning that the Israelites undertake is far more extensive than just a census. Not only do they count all of the people, they also determine which tribes will march at the front of the pack, which tribes will march at the side, which at the rear. They determine which families in their camp will be responsible for packing up and moving their portable sanctuary, who will carry the altar, who will carry the lampstand, who will be responsible for the burlap walls of the tent, who for the tent pegs. In excruciating detail, the Torah outlines all the particulars and minutiae that the Israelites consider as they prepare to begin their journey from Mount Sinai to the Promised Land. A sweeping, thorough, and comprehensive plan. All this we gather from the English name, the Book of Numbers. But as we've mentioned, this fourth book of the Torah has not one, but two names. Not just an English name, but also one in Hebrew. In Hebrew, we refer to the fourth book of the Torah as Bamidbar, a word whose translation has nothing at all to do with numbers, nothing to do with details, nothing at all to do with planning. In fact, Bamidbar means nearly the very opposite. Bamidbar translates to mean in the wilderness. This is a fitting name for the fourth book of the Torah. After all, this fourth book describes the journey from Mount Sinai to the Promised Land, a journey that takes the Israelites through 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. They are trying, challenging years. Water is scarce. Food is limited. The desert sun is hot. The other tribes they encounter on the journey will be antagonistic. The Israelites break out into complaining. A few rebel factions start to mutiny against Moses' leadership. Moses grows tired. God grows frustrated. It is, all in all, a bitter journey through an inhospitable, uncharted territory, a wilderness. These two names for the fourth book of the Torah, Numbers on the one hand and Bamidbar in the wilderness on the other, capture the challenge of the time we're living in. On the one hand, As the name Numbers suggests, the proper functioning of our society depends on our ability to plan. We need to have some ability to project outward into the future, to see what's coming down the pike, to make arrangements accordingly. And yet, on the other hand, as the name Bamidbar in the wilderness suggests, we are now moving into territory that is entirely unknown. None of us has a crystal ball. No one can predict the future of this pandemic and how we will come out of it. And while there certainly are more likely and less likely scenarios, if there's one thing that the past several months have shown us, it's that things don't always work out the way we expect them to. In many ways, we are like those Israelites standing at the base of Mount Sinai. We're doing our best to make adequate plans as we prepare to enter an entirely unknown wilderness. It is a challenging position to be in. And if our journey turns out to be anything like the Israelites, we should expect that even with our best planning, there will be unexpected surprises, eventualities for which we could have no plan. And equally, if our journey turns out to be anything like the Israelites, then maybe there will be a lesson for us waiting to be learned in the wilderness, a spiritual insight that we might glean from this challenging time. After all, despite all of the challenges of our people's journey through the wilderness, looking back on that era, we see that it was one of tremendous spiritual growth for the burgeoning Jewish people. A new generation of leadership emerged. The holidays and customs that we now take for granted were born, trial-tested, and honed in those early wilderness wandering days. The wilderness represents all that is as yet unknown, all that could be, all that is possible. Scientists and artists alike live on the edge of the wilderness. Scientists probe beyond the boundaries of human knowledge, peer into the teeming darkness of the unknown, and from beyond the frontier, they bring back new knowledge. Artists, too, dwell at the edge of the wilderness. They push us to see the world in ways we'd never before considered, push us to gaze beyond the limited horizon of our everyday consciousness. For the scientist and the artist, certainly the wilderness can be daunting. Who among us hasn't stared at a blank page with a feeling of trepidation? And yet, equally, for the scientist and the artist, the wilderness holds immense potential. The writer Rebecca Solnit captures the power of the wilderness in her cleverly titled book, A Field Guide to Getting Lost. Solnit writes, and I'll quote her now at length, "Lost really has two disparate meanings. Losing things is about the familiar falling away. Getting lost is about the unfamiliar appearing. There are objects and people that disappear from our sight or knowledge or our possession. We may lose a bracelet, a friend, or a key, but still we know where we are. Everything is familiar, except there is that one item less, one missing element. Or it may be we who gets lost, in which case it is the world that has become larger than our knowledge of it." Solnit continues, "Imagine yourself streaming through time, shedding gloves, umbrellas, wrenches, books, friends, homes, names. This is what the view looks like if you take a rear-facing seat on the train. Looking forward, you constantly acquire moments of arrival, moments of realization, moments of discovery. The wind blows your hair back, and you are greeted by what you have never seen before." Following Rebecca Solnit, what if we approached our upcoming journey into the wilderness not only planning so as not to lose things, but also ready, prepared, expecting that we will get lost? How might we orient ourselves so that when the path ahead becomes unclear, we are attuned not only to being lost, but equally to the new and as yet unfamiliar things that we have found? There are innumerable questions for which we as a society must plan in the coming months. As the name, the Book of Numbers, suggests, our planning will likely be sweeping, thorough, nearly comprehensive. And even as we properly plan and prepare for the months that lie ahead, let us also remember the other name for the fourth book of the Torah, Bamidbar, in the wilderness. There is a creative potential in the unknown, waiting to be tapped. New ways of thinking, new ways of conducting business, new ways of connecting with friends and loved ones, new ways of marking life's milestones. If there's one thing that is certain, it is that the future is anything but certain. Let us be prepared for that. Shabbat Shalom. We'll turn our attention now to people who are in need of prayers for healing. And before we read our congregational list of people who we're praying for as a community, I'd invite you, if there's someone who you're thinking of this evening, someone who would benefit from knowing that someone was thinking about them this evening, to draw that person into your mind's eye. Picture their face if you can. Maybe draw up a cherished memory with this person. And we'll offer shortly a prayer for healing for them and for these for whom our congregation prays. Lawrence Smith, Deborah Kapnick, Nicole Shusey, Ray Josell, Amelia Austin, Joyce Schertzer, Leah Greenspan, Aviva Tzila Bat Esther Bela, Dan Sokoloff, Jeffrey Millman, Chava Batsara, Eliyahu Chaim Ben Fradel, Sheila Freed, Tanya Romanoff, Yitzchak Yona Ben May, Yaakov Hirsch Ben Rachel, Malka Tzipora Bas Rachel, Tamar Bat Malka, Avraham Ben Miriam, David Tremsky, Heschel Meir Ben Davida Chana, and others who we carry with us in our hearts. Let us join together in our prayer for healing. Misha Berach.
Of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
We begin to conclude our worship together with Aleinu L'Shabeach, the words of which can be found on the screens in front of us. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol, La'tet Gedula Leotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishbachot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegoralenu Kechol Hamonam, Va'anachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo, ushemo, ushemo echad. We turn our thoughts now towards people whom we have loved and lost, whether they are fallen heroes of our country who we're remembering this Memorial Day weekend, those who fought on fields of battle, or those who've helped to keep all of us safe through this pandemic in the past several months, or if we are in a current period of Jewish mourning, if we've laid to rest a loved one within the past year, or if this season marks the anniversary of our loved one's death. If you're someone who is saying Kaddish tonight, I'll invite you to draw into your mind's eye the person who you are remembering. And as a community, we'll offer these names together, people who grace our lives through the memories that they left us and through the impact that we continue to make on the world by the example they set for us. We remember first those most recently taken from us. Peter Jatlow, father of Allison Beitler, Stuart Liebertoff, father of Dana Roseman, Herbert Dardick, uncle of Lisa Alperin, Rabbi Sissy Koran, Marco Fernandez, father of Anna Cortez, Lila Kaplan, mother of Donna Rabin, Kenny Kaplan, Mark Kaplan, Karen Zelikoff, and grandmother of Alexandra Corwin. Kiana Kodesh, grandmother of Sean Kodesh, Judy Gold, aunt of Scott Silberfine, Richard Jaffe, father of Randy Salko, Suki Jacobs, mother of Rabbi Rick Jacobs, Jeffrey Escher, husband of Monique Escher and father of Max and Sam Escher, Maxine Myers, sister of Margie Miller and aunt of Bob Miller, Philip Dworetsky, father of Vicki Elkins, Rabbi Robert Rothman. And on the anniversary of their death, we remember Stuart Abrahams, Burton Abrams, Pearl Bader, Erwin Bernstein, Leonard Blitzstein, Fred Bosses, Betty Bronstein, Rose Buckdahl, Arnold Milton Burns, Joseph Choper, Anna Cohen, Bernard Cohen, Joanne Cohen, Henry Denker, John Dowling, Wilmore Feinerman, Louis Friedman, Harry B. Goldsmith, Howard Goldstein, Edith Graff, Florence R. Guggenheimer, Lenore Haber, Harold Heller, Brent Horney, Sophie Jacobs, Arthur Capel, Daniel Lemley, Anne Leventhal, Leonard Levin, Abraham Levine, Norman Lubin, Edmund Ludwig Sr., Evelyn Markowitz, Leonard Marks, Hope Macaulay, Hilda Menges, Ruth Moser Mirzwa, Michelle Monitz, Anna Polsky, Lucille Popek, Sarah Ravitz, Ralph Rosenkrantz, Sylvia Rosenzweig, David Schildkraut, Annie Shapiro, Alan Schulman, Estelle Silver, Faye Spicer, Paul Stamler, Edith Taubrin, John Weber, Saul Weissman, John R. Wiley, Barbara Willis. If there are any names to add to our commemoration or any that I've inadvertently mispronounced, I invite you to offer them now. The words of the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on the screen in front of you. Yit Gadol v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens cause peace to descend on us, on all Israel and on all the world, to which we say, Amen. A few brief announcements as we conclude our service together. There are many things coming up here at Westchester Reform Temple, and to find out about all of them, I'd invite you to check out our weekly e-blast or the calendar at our website. I'll highlight just a few upcoming things. Of course, our weekly Torah study group joins together tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. via Zoom. We hope that you'll join us for a lively Torah study. The study will kick off at 9:45, but the group will convene at 9:30 for a little bit of schmoozing and connecting with one another. And then on Thursday of next week, we will begin our celebration of the holiday of Shavuot, a night that's dedicated to Jewish learning and during which traditionally the Jewish people stays up all night in order to study. And because Zoom allows us to stay up all night without ourselves needing to be awake through the night, we're offering an all-night Tikkun Leil Shavuot with rabbis from around the world teaching at an hour that is appropriate for them. So please join us on Thursday, May 28th. They'll be learning starting at 5 p.m. on Thursday evening and continuing all the way through the night until 7 a.m. on Friday morning. And you'll get to learn with a terrific set of rabbis from WRT, from our local area, and from Israel, from all across the world. A terrific lineup of people teaching at that Tikkun Leil Shavuot Thursday night into Friday. The WRJ spring meeting with Rabbi Blake will take place on Thursday, June 4th. That's the week after our all-night Shavuot study. Watch our e-blast and calendar for more information about that event. And finally, we've received so many requests from people wanting to be involved in the pandemic response efforts. And we've compiled a list of ways that you can get your hands involved in the helping at our website. If you check our e-blast, you'll find the link to the specific page at our website with bunches of opportunities that our own congregants have put together and organized, and that you can be a part of the response effort to helping make sure that our society comes out of this crisis stronger than we were before, and making sure that the vulnerable aren't left behind. These are just a few highlights of the many ways you can be involved with us, even while we're not able to gather physically in person. There's still so many ways we can be a community while we're online and connecting in the digital sphere. We will conclude our service with the blessing of something sweet. So if you have the fruit of the vine with you, I'll invite you to raise a cup with us as we give thanks for everything in our life that provides sweetness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lamikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And if you happen to have a challah, or for that matter, any bread from the earth with you, we'll invite you to hold it up with us as we give thanks for everything in our life that helps to sustain us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat